What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And we're post UFC 300. I've already made my post-fight recap. I've already made my next fights to make, but there's one more thing I wanted to go over for UFC 300, and I wanted to grade every single fighter on the card in terms of their performance. Obviously, you know, the school grading system. We got the A pluses, we got the Bs, we got the Fs, and I'm going to be grading all the fighters, every single one that competed on this card, 26 fighters, and I'm going to be all giving them a grade and ranking them on this tier list. We've got F tier, D tier, C tier, B tier, and then just A plus tier. I could have just done A, but I've made it A plus because those are the people that really just had the perfect, flawless performances. So yeah, let's get into it. Straight away, Alex Pereira got to be an A plus performance. He basically did not absorb an impactful shot that damaged him. He took like 2 leg kicks and maybe a couple jabs. And apart from that, he had one of the coldest moments of the year, only outdone by another man who I'm going to talk about in a bit. But he got a little bit nut-shotted by Jamal Hill. Herb came in to stop it, give him some time. He said, "Nah, Herb, let me cook." And then he just proceeded to brutally chin Jamal Hill. So incredible performance. Round 1 KO in a title fight as the defending champion. And you really didn't get hit. How could you not be an A-plus performance? Pereira, incredible stuff. I hope he can make a turnaround and fight again soon, but if not, we're probably going to see this guy because now both June pay-per-views are filled up. I doubt he's going to get on that July pay-per-view. They're going to do Aspinall versus Blades or Garn. August is Australia. He wouldn't be on there. September's the Sphere. I don't know if he's going to be on there. October, there's two pay-per-views in October apparently. So maybe he gets on one of those. It wouldn't be Abu Dhabi unless it's Uncle Live. But yeah, we're probably going to end up seeing Pereira later half of the year. But yeah, on his performance, incredible. Really didn't get hit much. And yeah, great stuff. But let's move on to the loser of the main event. Jamal Hill's going in the F tier. Yeah, you can't chat that much shit. You can't be that obnoxious and that fucking annoying online and be telling everyone that you're going to knock Pereira out standing and then get chinned in the first and basically have no success. And yeah, you can't do that and not be in the F tier. It was an awful performance for Jamal Hill. He had no moments. He didn't hurt Pereira at all. It was not like Yuri versus Pereira where it was a bit back and forth before the finish. It wasn't an early stoppage. It was flat out, you got smoked, you got embarrassed. Pereira emoted on you, and you were looking up at him with your fucking eyes wide, going like, "Oh, I just got fucking shammered by Pereira. What am I doing?" So yeah, awful performance from Jamal Hill. Didn't wrestle, didn't land anything impactful on the feet. Nut-shotted, landed an illegal strike, and still lost. So yeah, that's tough. Get out of here, buddy. Stop yapping. Now he moved down 2 spots in the rankings too. He's ranked number 3. I might do a video about the rankings just because Max Holloway is number 9 at lightweight, so that's a bit odd. But yeah, I'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, Jamal Hill, not a good performance. We move on though to the co-main event. Zhang Weili got a big win. I'm going to put her in the B tier. So apart from the 3rd round where she was in a little bit of trouble, she basically won against Yan Jianan in 3 different method of victories. She subbed her at the end of the first. That was a submission. Like, they overturned Merab versus Ricky Simone to a win for Ricky Simone. So yeah, if the rules is either both of them are submissions or both of them continue or are decisions. Like, so yeah, I don't know what they were doing there. She was clearly out after Herzog stopped the round. But then in the second round, she basically got TKO'd. Let's be honest, 95% of refs stopped that fight. So obviously, you can't really call it a TKO, but it also kind of was at the same time. And then she obviously went on to win a 49-45 decision. So yeah, apart from that 3rd round where she got dropped a little bit and things got a bit hairy, she didn't look the best on the feet. But if you're winning a 49-45 title defense and you dominate your opponent for 90% of the fight, yeah, you got to go pretty high up there. So Zhang Weili, great stuff, continues to dominate. People are saying that Tatiana Suarez is the one to beat her. Zhang Weili, if anything's looking less good in the striking now. Like, it's the striking where she's looking like she might have some concerns. Tatiana Suarez is a pure wrestler. I don't think she has any success against Weili. But regardless, I'm going to give Weili the B tier grade for her performance. Let's move on, though, to the loser of the co-main event. Yan Jianan, I'll put her in D tier. Now, I'm not going to put her in F tier. She got dominated a lot, but it's in a title fight. It's different. She had her moments. She survived. She showed toughness. And yeah, she actually caused some concerns for Zhang Weili and is probably the most success that anyone's had on the feet with Weili since Rose knocked her out, I would say, in terms of dropping her. No one's dropped. That's the first time Weili's been dropped since, obviously, she actually got finished. So fair play to Xiaonan. She showed up pretty good, but she was just not the superior Han Chinese woman, and she did not go away with the plus 10,000 social credit score. So unlucky for her. I won't punish her too hard, though. D tier's alright. Like, I can't really put you above C tier or in C tier where there's people that actually won when you lost. I just can't do that. But let's move on to the next fighter. Max fucking Holloway, obviously S tier, A tier, whatever you want, A plus. He's going at the top. Best performance of the card in terms of all round. Big knockout, incredible performance, was winning the fight. Obviously less flawless than Alex Pereira. He did get dropped himself. He was getting leg kicked a bunch. It was a back and forth fight, but it was pretty much 80% output from Holloway. Like 80% of the success was being done from Holloway. And then he gets that incredible highlight reel, top 10, top 5, top 3. I don't know, you might even have it at number 1 knockout of all time. In just probably one of the most iconic moments in the sport's history. Yeah, he walks away with 600k. That's a fucking A+ performance if I've ever seen it. 100% on the test. He's passed it with flying colours. And yeah, incredible stuff from Jerome Holloway. He did very well. But again, I was saying, he's ranked number 9 at lightweight. Like, that's just weird. It's a weird spot to have him. So I might do a video on the rankings. Maybe. I don't know. I'll see if it's like, there's probably not that much to talk about, but I might just do one. Anyway, I might do a video on like the rankings in general, not just like these rankings. Maybe I'll do a video making what I would do the rankings, if you guys want to see that. But yeah, we move on to the next fighter. Justin Gaethje, I'm going to put him in D tier, because look, he had his success. He was the first person to drop Holloway. I don't care what the stats say, that was a knockdown. And he did do alright. He won the 4th round. He was like back and forth in the 2nd, but the 1st, 3rd, and 5th were all Max Holloway. He got his nose broken in the 1st. He got beaten up at the start of the 5th, and then he got fucking flatline KO'd and did the fucking Andy's coming quick hide type of fucking knockout falling animation. Like, so the edits that people have made of it is disgraceful. So Max Holloway, yeah. So Justin Gaethje, I apologize. You just can't put him that high. I'm not going to put him F tier because it was a back and forth fight against Max Holloway, so I just can't put you on the same level as some of those other guys that I'm going to have lower. But yeah, it wasn't a good performance. Let's move on though to the next fighter. We've got Arman Tsarukyan, who I'm going to put in a B tier, or in the B tier, or in the B grade, whatever. Yeah, it was a good performance. He won a split decision. I think it was, I love Charles, but it was kind of pretty clear that Arman won. I mean, like, look, if you want to be really technical with it, and if you go, oh, maybe Charles's submission attempt in the 3rd was more impactful than Arman's, like, yeah, obviously Charles got closer to finishing, but overall 90% of the round was just Arman Tsarukyan in top control, and Oliveira didn't land anything that impactful. So good job, Arman. Anytime you beat the number 1 guy, Charles Oliveira, former champion, and you do it relatively decisively, and it wasn't like a boring, but it wasn't like a fun fight. Most of the fun moments was just when Charles was close to a submission. But yeah, I'll give Arman his credit. I'll go B tier. It will be kind of disrespectful to both him and Charles if I said, like, yeah, you won a good decision and demonstrated your grappling and dominated the 2nd round on the ground against a former champion and one of the best grapplers in the division. Yeah, it would be kind of tough to be like, yeah, C tier performance, bro, shit fight. Just like, I don't like Arman, and I wanted Charles to win, but I'll give the man his respect. And just like if Charles had won, I would have put it in either B or A tier. I'm going to give Arman his respect, and I'll give him the B tier for his win. But let's move on to Charles Oliveira. I'm going to put Charles in the D tier, and I hate to say this because, look, I love Charles. He's one of my favourite fighters, and he did get close with some submissions, but unless I'm just forgetting the fight, what moments did he have apart from a close Gilly in round 1 and a close Darcy in round 3? Round 1, he got the Gilly and then ended up on top for about a minute and a half and then got reversed from Mount. Like, I hate to say it, but you shouldn't be giving up Mount. Like, fair play, Arman did well, but come on, you got to go to something from there. Throw some ground and pounds, go for another submission, take the back. You're giving up Mount and getting swept. So, yeah, that was rough. But apart from that, on the feet, he was backing up a whole bunch. He didn't look good. He didn't look that confident on the feet. He wasn't landing big shots. He wasn't pressuring. And so, yeah, I just didn't think it was an amazing performance from Charles. But the funny thing is, to say it wasn't an amazing performance and he didn't look that good, he still almost stole the fight just from 2 moments. So fair play to him. But yeah, I'm not going to say it was a great performance from Charles, because it wasn't. But let's move on to another fighter. And we've got Bo Nickel. So I'm going to put him in C tier. I'm probably going to move him later on. I might move him down. But just right now, because I've already put a bunch of people in the D tier, we'll sort it out later. But right now, I'm going to go with a C tier for Bo Nickel. He dominated Cody Brundage. It was bit boring at times. He stunk it up. You know, he was kind of looking like a bit of a Dagestani out there with just the boring kind of lay and pray style. Didn't get the submission in the first, wasn't throwing much ground and pound. He looked kind of alright. Like, his wrestling was good. Obviously, we knew Cody Brundage was going to lose, but you got cracked by Cody Brundage. You got chucked off at one point, failed one of your takedowns. So yeah, it's not a flawless performance. It's not a round 1 first minute domination. But I'll probably move him down later on. I'm just going to put him here for now just to balance it out a little bit. But let's move on to his opponent. Cody Brundage. I'll chuck him in the D tier. Look, he got dominated, but he was expected to. It was like a plus 1,000 underdog, or plus 800, whatever. And he survived a few moments. Like, he defended on the back a little bit. He had a little moment where he smiled at the crowd and kind of put his tongue out. Like, he had some moments. He got some fanfare from not just getting smoked in the first. He had a little moment where he landed a good shot. He chucked Bo off. So I guess these gradings is not so much on your performance, but it's a combination of like your performance compared to based on who you fought, based on what you were expected to do. Like, if you were a minus 2,000 favorite, you're expected to go out and dominate in the first round. If you go out and dominate in the second round, I can't give you like an A tier or A grade or A plus performance like I would have with like Max Holloway, who was not necessarily expected to dominate, and he did so. So it's in comparison. Bo Nickel didn't do that great, but Cody Brundage was expected to get smoked, and he actually did better than other people expected. So you still got smoked, so I can't put you in C tier, but yeah, fair play. It didn't die immediately. So yeah, good job. We move on though to the prelims. And we've got Jiri Prohaska. I'm putting him in the C tier. Now, you guys might say, why is he so low? He should be in the A tier or the B tier, because he got a finish and he got a bonus. But he looked shit in the first round. I'm going to be completely honest. He didn't look good. He could not stop a leg kick to save his life. He's getting tagged by 1-2s all day long. The only thing that really stopped him from dying in the first round was just his chin, and his durability is retarded. And then Rakic kind of just was like, I can't be asked with this. I'm beating this guy up and he's not going away. Fuck this. But yeah, it was a good comeback win from Jiri. He did well in the second round, but first round he looked shit. So I'm not going to say it was a dominant performance. It was not like a defied all the odds kind of thing. He was getting smoked, and then he kind of just started to be too autistic, and Rakic just couldn't deal with it. So yeah, good job to Jiri, but I'm putting you in the C tier. But let's move on to Alexander Rakic. You guys might not agree with it, but I'm also putting him in the C tier, because I think grade-wise, even though he lost and he ended up getting finished, he looked phenomenal in the first round. He looked amazing coming back from a long layoff. I think people forget he had not fought since May of 2022, I believe it was, against Blachowicz. Coming off an injury, bad injury, and he came back and looked phenomenal. And arguably, if you just take the first round of their fights, Rakic looked better against Jiri than Pereira did, in my humble opinion. Jiri took Alex down. Jiri landed some shots. He was getting leg kicked, but Rakic was landing the same amount of leg kicks, if not more, and landing good 1-2s. He looked quicker. He was landing more frequently on Jiri. So yeah, he looked great in the first, and then I guess he gassed himself out a little bit, and Jiri, he didn't go into this fight expecting that he would literally hit Jiri 50 times in the face and rock him 20 times, and Jiri would just take it. So I guess he just couldn't extend past that. But in terms of what we saw, how he looked coming back, I'll give him some slack. I'm not going to put him in the same level as Cody Brundage. So yeah, I think he's got to go C tier despite the loss. But let's move on to another fighter. Aljamain Sterling. I'm going to go B tier, surprisingly enough. And you guys might hate this because I know the fight wasn't sensational, but he moved up a division, coming off a knockout loss to Sean O'Malley where he lost his title, getting older, a lot of questions about where Aljo's at. If he was going to lose this fight, he was kind of cooked and he was kind of toast, because what else was he going to do if he lost this? You can't really go back down to Bantamweight, and then no one thinks of you as a contender at 45 if you lose. So he needed to win, and he did get it done. I think no one really, again, I say, it's based on expectations. Who really expected Aljo to come out and finish Calvin Kattar? Because if he'd done that, I would have had him in A tier, because I would not have expected that at all. And I predicted this exact outcome. I predicted a 30-27 decision. That's what I said in my detailed predictions. I changed. I kind of thought he might get cracked a bit early on. This was in my early week predictions. I said he was going to get cracked. I said he was going to come back, scrape out a 29-28, maybe a split. And then I changed for my detailed predictions. I said, nah, unanimous, 30-27. He's going to win, and he's going to be able to take down Kattar. And he did. And to take down Kattar repetitively, a guy who never really gets dominated on the ground, I think the lack of a finish and just the lack of really electrifying stuff is going to overshadow this in terms of being an impressive performance, because no one really just 30-27s Kattar, apart from Holloway. No one just makes Kattar look kind of dumb and look like he doesn't want to be in there and look like he doesn't have anything for him. So yeah, I'm actually giving Aljo his credit. I'm putting him in the B tier, so fair play to him. I think he performed very well. Boring, but very well, so who cares? But let's move on to Calvin Kattar. Yeah, I'm putting him in F tier. Calvin Kattar landed nothing on the feet, couldn't really defend many takedowns. He looked alright balance-wise early, stuffed a couple, but Aljo took him down most of the time he tried to, and Kattar just looked kind of shit, to be honest. So that's why I don't also want to take away from Aljo. I do think it was Aljo that did this to Kattar. But yeah, even though I expected it to happen, I know a lot of people were picking Kattar. A lot of people rated his takedown defense a lot higher going into this, and a lot of people thought if they were on the feet, Aljo was going to just have no chance and Kattar was going to be boxing him up. But Aljo had just as much success on the feet as Kattar. I think even if you take away the grappling and just judge the striking exchanges, it was pretty much even. If not, Aljo actually was pushing forward, landing a bit more. So Kattar did not look good. He didn't land much. He didn't do anything really. And so yeah, Aljo dominated him, and Aljo's going to go high, and then Kattar's going to go low. That's how it works. That's how the grading's going to happen. But let's move on to another fighter. We've got Kayla Harrison. You got to put her in the B tier. I'm not going to put her in A tier because you just can't say it was the same level of performance as Pereira and Holloway. But incredibly dominant. A lot of people expected her to dominate, and I think the consensus was if she's on and she's not cooked by the weight cut, she should smoke home. But there were a lot of people doubting. There's a lot of people saying she was going to have to stink it up and it was going to be a boring fight. But she ragdolled Holly Holm, smoked her, dominated her. So yeah, good performance, very good performance. B tier, and I think that's a performance that's going to make you a minus 400 favourite when you're challenging the champion. There's not a lot of champions that would be fighting contenders and be plus 350 underdogs, but I think that's what Raquel Pennington faces if she does fight Kayla Harrison. So yeah, I think Kayla's going to get the belt. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. She's on roids. She might be a dude. We don't know. Yeah, great performance. Let's move on though to her opponent. We've got Holly Holm. Yeah, F tier. Looked shit. Looked awful. Got ragdolled. Had one moment, but apart from that, tried to clinch up with Kayla Harrison. Retardation. You're 42 years of age. Just retire. Yeah, F. Let's move on. Diego Lopez. Yeah, the GOAT. He's going in 8+. He's an elite fighter. Elite performance. Absolute G. Absolute amazing stuff from Diego Lopez. One of my favourite performances on the card. One of my favourite fighters on the roster right now. And he delivered majorly. And I think he even over-delivered, because I think a lot of people thought this would be a test for him. He might be in some trouble on the feet. I know MMA Guru picked Diego Lopez, but I heard a lot of his streams and a lot of his takes on the card beforehand, and he was considering Yusuf. He even tweeted out a day before he recorded his predictions. He's I'm really thinking of picking Yusuf. So a lot of people weren't confident that Lopez was just going to run through him. But he did that. I thought he was going to end up subbing him after a tough first round. It was going to be back and forth, and then he would break Yusuf and outgas him. But no, he didn't need to outgas him. He went out there and just fucking outpowered him and just smoked him with an uppercut and TKO'd him. Great performance, S tier, A+, whatever. One of the best performances on the card. And yeah, great stuff. Let's move on though to his opponent. Yeah, Sadiq Yusuf's going in the F tier. It's rough. There's not much to talk about. You came out, you got smoked. You got packed up in a box. You cooked. Let's move on. Nato Mani Moicano. Let me tell you something. I go City. I don't really know how to do a Moicano. Let's go Dana White. Whatever the fucking book. I tell you, I love the American Constitution. Yeah, I can't really do a Moicano impression, but good, solid performance. I'll go C tier, of course. He got dropped on his ass and could have arguably finished in round 1 if Turner wasn't retarded. But he came back. His grappling looked good. He got the takedowns. Looked pretty, even almost better than Gamrot in the wrestling, because at least Turner got back up from Gamrot. Gamrot had to chain wrestle and just Gamrot him. But no, Moicano got him down. A lot of control time, so it wasn't like it was a barn burner of a fight or just a dominant performance. But yeah, after that first round where he got dropped, Turner had nothing, got taken down again, quit like a bitch. So good job. And then obviously S tier for the S tier, A plus, for the post-fight interview. But just the performance-wise, I go C tier. But let's move on to Jalen Turner, the tard. Jalen Turner, this big lanky fuck, this useless cunt, is going in F tier. You dropped him on his ass and smoked him almost in round 1, and you walked off like a retard. Sorry, bro, even though you fucking dropped him, I ain't gonna put you up. If you literally fumble a walk-off KO or fumble a finish trying to get a walk-off KO, and then fold like a bitch, yeah, F tier, fuck out of here. Fight Dober next, and the Great White Hope can deal with you with his racial motivations. But let's move on to another fighter. Jessica Andrade, I'll go C tier. She looked alright. Was in a close submission attempt at points, was getting kind of outpointed on the outside. But overall, yeah, I mean, she looked alright. She didn't run in as much with her chin up like she does normally. So yeah, she wins. Good job, I guess. If you win and you weren't expected to just completely dominate like Bo Nickel, all other winners are probably going to be above C tier. So good job. Let's move on though. Yeah, Marina Rodriguez, her opponent, I guess D tier. You lost. I mean, it was a close fight. It was a split decision, but yeah, you lose. I guess I just got to put you there in D tier. She couldn't get up from bottom. That's why I think she looked worse than Andrade. Even though she looked better on the feet, her performance was worse because she had the capability to win and almost fucked it up herself. Like, she was winning on the outside and then she would just put her defense would just slack off and she would get cracked at rocked at the end of the round, or she would get slip over and then be unable to get up. So yeah, rough one for her. I mean, she looked okay, but yeah, D tier. Let's move on. Got Bobby Green repping his block, letting everyone know that he came from poverty and that he wants to fight Paddy Pimblett. He pieced up Jim Miller. I gotta go B tier. Because I know he was a favourite on the odds, but my expectation was that his chin was going to be cooked. He wouldn't be as good. He would be a bit slower than normal. He would be a bit more hesitant. And he would get chewed up a little bit. He would get kicked a bunch, and then Jim Miller would catch him and KO him. But apart from our first round, we got rocked right at the end. He was winning the rest of that first round, and then he arguably got 10-8s in both the second and the third. Yeah, Bobby Green getting 10-8s, just schooling. It's rough for Jim. But yeah, fair play, Bobby Green. B tier, great performance. Yeah, one of the better performances on the card in terms of flawlessness, I would actually say. Didn't get a finish, but apart from a couple moments where he got rocked a little bit, looked great. Let's move on though to his opponent. Jim Miller, it's tough. I gotta put in F tier. I wouldn't mind if you put him D tier, but yeah, he got 10-8'd and pieced up for most of the fight, so it's rough. We don't want to talk badly about my boy Jim Miller though, so let's move on. Davison Figueiredo, I'm going to put him in the B tier. Look, he didn't look amazing on the feet early. Cody actually did look better than him, but ultimately I am going to put him in the B tier. His grappling looked great, and he showed an aspect of his game that we haven't seen in quite a while, and that we haven't seen him really use super effectively, and he dominated Cody Garbrandt on the ground, so fair play to him. Got to give him credit, got the sub, and now he's got 2 wins at Bantamweight, undefeated in that weight class, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him versus a top 5 guy, hopefully. So great performance from Figueiredo. Let's move on though to his opponent. Cody Garbrandt. How many times you get choked out? Exactly. Saturday night, I've never had to chase pussy. I've never had to chase pussy my whole life. Saturday night, I won't have to. What are you talking about? Yeah, he got choked the fuck out, tapped, gave up his neck, looked awful on the ground, but I'll give him enough credit. I'll bump him up from F tier, just based off the first round, and he actually looked good on the feet. So yeah, good job, Cody. You didn't get chinned like a tard, and yeah, the way I expected him to lose was to swing in the pocket like a retard and get dropped because he thinks he's Max Holloway. That would be an incredible fight, by the way. I would love to see Cody Garbrandt versus Max Holloway, and then Holloway's going to point to the middle of the ground, and Cody's going to be like, yeah, let's go, man, and then just swing and immediately get fucking chinned brutally, because he's that kind of guy. But yeah, I'll put him in the D tier. But that is everyone. There's a little switch up right there, just for clarifying. For all the other tiers above F tier, it's like the closest to the left is the better performance. But for F tier, it's the worst. So if you're the closest, that's the worst performance. That doesn't make sense, but that's just what it is. So yeah, let me know. Just did a little switch up there. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, if you agree with my grading in the comments. Obviously, I did this similar thing for 299, but what I did there, I did overperformed, underperformed, or met expectations. But that kind of left a little bit to be kind of, it was less fluid. That was like, it was very cut and dry. But with this one, it's kind of, you can put winners and losers in the same tier. You can put different guys here, different guys there. So I think this is a better way of doing it, grading all the fighters. And obviously for this massive card, I had to do everyone. But yeah, what am I saying? We're done. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys in the next one. Yeah, peace out.